Hey guys, so I'm making this video as a follow-up to my last video, which talked about the best game mode to play to push your trophies and to get your seasonal trophies enough for the Ultra Box. And so I decided to take my own advice after that video and try pushing to Trio Showdown all the way until I got my Ultra Box and see how long it takes. For context, there was only about 8 days of the season left, and I had 2,000 trophies to push to reach my Ultra Box, so I decided it would be a good challenge to see if I can actually manage to do that in such a short amount of time. The footage right now you're seeing is from my last few games as I reached 3,000 seasonal trophies, and so I wanted to talk about my experience and some tips about Trio Showdown in general and the mindset to have here and what to expect. So, knowing I'm not the greatest player in the game, I had to keep my patience in check for all these stupid randoms that I had to deal with. One of the things that you should never do is run off by yourself at any given point in the game, especially at the beginning. You have to stay together and make sure that all of you stay as a group to get rid of any random stragglers from the other team, and that's how you get a bigger advantage in Trio Showdown. There is just no benefit for any teammate to run off by themselves, not even just to pick up power cubes on the floor, because you don't know if other teams are nearby and can easily pinch or one-shot you. Leaving your teammates and just doing your own thing just makes your team immediately at a disadvantage no matter where you guys are or how many power cubes you have. Even if you have 25 power cubes, you can still get outmatched or outskilled or outpinched by 3 other players who have 1 power cube each. And speaking of power cubes, it's always a good idea to pick up as many as you can at the beginning before engaging in any group fights. Getting kills only drops 2 power cubes at most, even if the one you killed is like 90 power cubes. They're only going to drop 2. It's not like normal Showdown where every 3 power cubes a player has, they'll drop an extra power cube. So the best types of brawlers here, there isn't really any specific type, but a lot of the throwers can work, and honestly it usually depends on which map you're playing and whether it has many walls or not. I mean, most of Showdown does have walls, so characters like Grom is like a top tier. You got Juju, she's fine. The more range the thrower has, the better overall. Well, Tick is kind of an exception because he's like way too squishy, but he can do really well as well if you have like a body blocker. Other brawlers that I found that do surprisingly well are Hank and Gale and Crow and Bell and Tick, but I already mentioned that. And of course there's always Kit all over the place. Spike also wasn't too bad. Mr. P, especially if you have his hypercharge, he can go insano style as long as you stay alive and keep those porters coming. Just spam his gadget. There's also Mandy with her hypercharge, and you can just get insane random kills. I got team wipes with Mandy. There's also Lily. I've seen her a lot. They can do pretty crazy stuff. And Squeak. Squeak does pretty good too, especially with his long range gadget. Also, any character that has a way to escape dangerous situations, like Angelo and Lily, and of course the monkey, they can do pretty well. As long as you never play Surge or Clancy, you should be fine. Those two are way too weak without their upgrades, and other teams will just dookie all over you before you ever reach a good enough point to make any difference. Hell, you can probably even get away with playing the monkey and just run around the entire time and not engage in any fights and do better than Surge. I've been saved by a few monkeys who do exactly just that, and we get second place, which is honestly pretty cool. One thing that's really cool about Trio Showdown is that since there are only 4 teams, with first and second place being considered wins, third place actually is considered a draw. Even at above 1,000 trophies, where you start losing 5 trophies or more when you get third place, your win streak will not be reset if you get third place, which is really nice. It means that only if you get last place or fourth place, you'll actually lose your win streak. Otherwise, you just keep going with that +5 every time. This fact alone makes Trio Showdown the best game mode to push in, because you only have to be at the top 3 teams for the game to not consider a loss, which is pretty easy to do compared to every other mode. It's really a massive deal. I don't think anybody has talked about before. And speaking of huge deals, there's a fun fact about seasonal trophies, right? It counts the trophies acquired by each brawler for their highest ever reached in that season. So that means if you got up to 1050 trophies, that's 50 seasonal trophies for you, let's say, on your spike, right? And if you lose 30 of those trophies, you will still have 50 seasonal trophies in towards your trophy box. Meaning you can lose all of your spikes trophies and still have those 50 seasonal trophies. If you go onto another character after that and start gaining seasonal trophies, they will count as new seasonal trophies. They won't consider the ones that you lost on your spike. With that in mind, whenever I lost enough times where I lost my win streak and I was also down a good 25 or 30 trophies, I decided to just switch over to another brawler so I can save myself the time of going back in there and grinding back those trophies, and instead just keep going with gaining the trophies. And it's a pretty good life hack, I'm not gonna lie. And here it is, max level trophy box. So I'm gonna go through my characters real quick and show you how many trophies I have. If you notice, there are only 88 brawlers in the game, and if I have all of them at 1000 trophies and then add the 3000 seasonal trophies that I have, I should be at 91,000. But no, I only have 90,213 trophies, which means I've lost almost 800 trophies while doing these pushes, and I still got my ultra box. So that life hack is pretty amazing, and this is my proof.